Coming up on the Empire Report, breaking news. A daring daylight abduction has left officials stunned, and a panicked Empire asking, which citizens next?
The lynch fever outbreak continues to spread through Goss. We'll have a live update on the travel restrictions to the system. Plus,
chicken satay for Satterball opening day? Our Gia Mumbo stops by with a few party planning tips to make sure you start your Satterball season off right.
all that and more on the Empire Report at 2200 SET.
Everybody, welcome to episode 31 of Around the Verse. I'm Sandy Gardner.
And I'm Ben Lesnick.
It's Valentine's Day weekend.
That's right, and in fact I have a Valentine here for you.
Ew. That's quite disgusting.
All right.
Moving
I get that all the time.
That is very weird. Moving right along. New items in the store, shields, skins, and more. What's the more?
The more is a gun, the Tarantula, which people seem to be enjoying.
Shield Generator's deep document dive is up.
We didn't want to just let shield generators out into the wild without telling people how they work and how they're going to work in the long term. So the guys upstairs, guys in the UK, guys at Delphonic all got together last week to put together a deep dive on shield generators, and it's absolutely fascinating.
I love these deep dive documents because they're always this last minute. Where's the deep dive document? Where's the deep dive document?
It keeps our Fridays fun.
It does keep our Fridays fun. And the monthly report for January is also up.
Yep. If you're wondering what any of Cloud Imperium's various studios did in January, it's the place to find out.
PAX East and South by Southwest tickets are still available, so come join us. We hope Ben is going to come join us for South by Southwest. I'm still trying to coax him to come down.
I tell you, I love going to Austin any week except South by Southwest. But it's going to be a good time. Tickets are free if you're in the area, and I know there are a lot of passionate Star Citizen fans in Austin. Absolutely come out. Chris will be there. We'll have some cool stuff to show, maybe a reveal or two. So definitely pick up a ticket.
Winner of the Terra Wrap contest is Zorn Kopf with Cosmic Companion, a pet store located in Nix.
So I like how you were able to say the word Zornkopf, because I was looking at that over and over and just praying that I wasn't going to be the one to have to read that name.
Right, well you can read the runners-up, because I can't read those.
Oh dear. So the runners-up are Gualphin with the Bestit and Lethality store, and Abel's Music and Meta.
CIG will be hosting a US Dev versus the Community on Monday, February 16 at 4 p.m. PST. We'll have the devs from Santa Monica and Austin, including Chris himself, online, so come join us. I will be out there flying myself, kicking Ben's butt.
Yep, QA wants to try to get as many people into Star Citizen at one time, so we're picking Monday as the time to try it. If you are an Arena Commander player, please come out and join us. And hopefully this will be the first of many such instances. In the future, we'll have times for European backers and backers from other parts of the world as well.
Tomorrow, the RSI Museum will return.
Yes, when James and I were in Austin, we shot an interview with Dallas Snell, Richard Garrett, and Paul Neurath about not just their new game, Underworld Descendant, but their classic games, Ultima Underworld 1 and 2. It's about an hour long. It's a really cool video. Please check it out.
Now we're going to try a new way of doing the news, right?
Yes. When we started this show, one of our main objectives was to share more and more of Star Citizen's development with you. So rather than just having one or two co-hosts talking to you, we're going to throw it to the studios around the world. They are reporting in on what they've been working on. So I will now throw it to the Spectrum.
Hi, I'm Darian.
And I'm Travis.
And we're broadcasting from upstairs in the attic of Cloud Imperium on the second floor up here in LA. So we're here to cover some ship information.
Yeah, so one of the things that's been worked on this past week is the bottom turret of the constellation is currently being reworked. I think that was for visibility issues, is that right?
Yeah, it's actually being done in Austin by Josh Coombs and Chris Smith. They're actually reworking the entire constellation, but right now they're especially focusing on the turret. So that entire thing's being redone. and I think you guys are going to like what they're working on. We've also got what formerly was called the Bulldog is now called the Vanguard being concepted.
Yeah, and I can't keep those two straight. So the Vanguard, the white box is done by Calix Renault, and Gurmukh Basin is working on the concept of the ship. So right now we're going through a lot of different shape passes and iteration for Chris to look at and approve. It's progressing well, and we hope to have something to share with you very soon.
And you know, our concept guys, they do make some awesome ships.
Oh yeah.
So other than that, we've also got the Orion in the works as well.
Yeah, the RSI Orion is something you guys have all been looking forward to. So it's kind of our very first bespoke mining ship. So that's out for concept right now with George Hull, who you may know from Jupiter Ascending. Did some of the ships in that movie. Anyways, the white box has been done by Dan Tracy here on the inside, and the concept is being done by George, and we're really looking forward to sharing that one with you. It's going to be a very cool ship. And last but not least, is the P-52 Merlin. So we're redoing the constellation, and that means we need to give a little love to the P-52.
Elwin's actually doing the modeling on that. So he's about 20% done. Right now they're working on refining the surfaces, which means adding all the little vertices, the details all over the surface. From that point forward, they've pretty much got the UV unwrapping, the texturing, making sure that everything's standardized so that a pilot can fit in it, the thrusters are the right size. So you're looking at least another few more weeks before that's anything even remotely testable, but it's looking pretty awesome.
Yeah, actually,
very sleek.
What you brought up is actually a really good point, is that we've been updated our character rig and our character model, and as part of that process, we've kind of changed the metrics a little bit, so we've had to go back through all of these old ships and make sure all the characters fit where they're supposed to, they sit where they're supposed to, their arms are the right length for everything, so it's been quite a process.
Yeah, we're standardizing a lot of our stuff.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you very much for joining us here in the upstairs of Cloud Imperium Santa Monica, and see you guys next week.
Hey, my name's Michael Barclay. I'm lead level designer at Cloud Imperium Games, working on Squadron 42.
Hi, I'm Luke Presley. I'm working on Arena Commander. I'm the lead designer on that.
At Foundry 42, just now we're looking at mostly the tutorial for Arena Commander, landing mechanics, and some Shubin grey boxing. So you're looking at the landing mechanic in the tutorial, right?
Yep. So you're finally going to get a tutorial. Teach you how to fly, if you don't already know. But we'll also teach you how to land as well, and it's a brand new mechanic. So you need help.
Yeah, we're doing it really well. We're improving on the current system, which is just to slam your ship down onto the asteroid, Chris Roberts style.
Yeah. So and we're going to get free flight in there, multiplayer free flight. We're going to introduce a hangar, an asteroid hangar that you and your friends can land in. That's where you really need to learn all the styles of landing, the vertical, horizontal kind of hangar bay landing, so you're not scraping your friend's ships up as you're going. But
you can still the landing's been split up so that we can actually have the full hardcore manual landing, so that you can still land manually. But there's also one or two things that we're looking at, I guess, just to make the process a bit easier. If you see a firefight going on the ground, you don't want to spend 5 minutes trying to land your ship.
Yeah.
We can maybe
so
one or two mechanics.
There's an assisted level to it, but it's halfway between hardcore and then there's a full automated thing. So if you really care about your ship.
Yeah. And one of the places you will be landing is Shubin, so Shubin mining colony. That's come along a long way recently. We've got the full interior grey box on the way now. So if anybody knows about our level design process, the first thing that we do is do a white box pass, and then we do a more detailed grey box pass. It features quite heavily in some of our campaign levels. So we're pushing ahead with the grey box and getting the atmosphere just right. Nice level of fidelity that the game's become accustomed to. Yeah. So I think that's it from the UK. I'm glad to catch up. Yeah. Thanks very much. See you later.
See ya.
Hi, I'm David Langoliers. I am senior producer here at Elphonic.
And I'm Rodney Wool. I'm the lead designer at Elphonic.
So over the last month, we've been trying to get FPS in really good shape for you guys. Coming up soon for the release. I don't want to give you an exact date yet, but it's coming really soon. One of the things we've been working really hard on is the new armor system. So we have light, medium, and heavy types of armor. And depending on what type of gun is hitting that armor and what type of round is in that gun, the damage will get applied based on whether it's an energy weapon or a ballistic weapon and what type of armor it's actually impacting. So yeah, that's added a lot to our gameplay over this last week.
Yep, and we've also spent a lot of time working on the weapon sway. So it's how the player holds the weapon and it moves in their hand, so it's not like perfectly aimed. After you are sprinting for a while, there'll be a lot of sway in your weapon.
Yeah, and that comes into play with all the weapons, and the player can actually calm down their breathing, and you'll get like a little bit less weapon sway. But yeah, the more you're running, the more your weapon will sit there and sway back and forth and back and forth. And if you guys saw PAX Australia, the system that these guys have actually makes the gun fire where it's pointing. So not always the center of your screen, but wherever you see the animation and the gun pointing, that's actually where the round is going to hit. So the weapon sway plays a lot to that. The last system we kind of wanted to talk about was the push-pull system for zero gravity. So when you're in zero gravity, you can have thrusters, but if you are without thrusters, then we have a push-pull system that allows you to sort of grab onto nearby surfaces, and this is all done procedurally. And your hands will push off the surfaces. You can crumple into a surface, grab onto it, and then release and float off in the opposite direction. Really cool. We think you guys are going to like it.
Yeah, it's a very complex system that has a lot of IK hand placement that, the player's hand gets aligned on the surface. And then the other really fun thing is when your legs compress as you're landing on a surface, and then you're able to push yourself off of it and float into space. It's pretty great.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Look forward to it soon, and yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys online.
All right, hi guys, my name's Jake Ross. I'm the associate producer of the PU here in Austin, Texas. Got a little update for you guys on what we've been working on. We're working on right now concepting out some of the mining gameplay mechanics. Tony's got this big vision of how mining will work in the PU, and he's got ideas for the different roles players will have, on one of the mining ships per se, so that's not boring for everyone except just the pilot. So there's scanning systems, there's drilling and mining and refineries, so lots of different features that go into that system. And so to help Tony flesh out that vision, we've got one of our in-house concept artists, Ken Fairclough, helping to concept out some of that stuff so that Tony can better explain what he's going for to the programmers and to Chris and then to others. So that's mining. We also have a redesign of the Nix Delamar Levski landing zone in progress. Our third landing zone out of our first 5. We started with ArcCorp, the Area 18 landing zone, and we've now got Terra Prime in progress, and Nix Levski is going to be next. So it's going to be cool. It's going to be like on this asteroid kind of abandoned mining facility. You guys have probably seen concepts of that out on our monthly reports and things like that. So now we're just trying to lay it all out and make sure that all the shops have homes, and figuring out where the NPCs are going to be and all that stuff. So that's currently in design phase right now. So there's that. And then our last thing that we've got is we're starting concepts on clothing sets for our NPCs. Right now we've got our white collar business clothing set being concepted by our in-house concept artist, Megan Cheever. Say hi, Megan. She will be concepting clothing sets from here for the foreseeable future, and that will help, when it comes to things like shopping and character customization. We've got to have lots of clothes to fill the PU with, so we're concepting that out right now, and that'll go off to our character modeling team after the social module launches in March. That's it for Austin. See you guys around.
Thank you to our studios around the world.
And now we're back over to Mark for the return of Bugsmashers.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Bugsmashers. Hey everyone, welcome back to Bugsmashers. I'm so sorry I couldn't make it here last week. You see, I was touring with my band Maroon 5 and I just couldn't make it. Bugsmashers! Hey everyone, I just got a most exciting bug. Apparently, the Mustang has no physics. So if I hit my little F10 button here in the editor, it will toggle physics visibility for anything that has like physical meshes. And as you can see here on the left, the Hornet has physics. And you see on the right, the Mustang has no physics. And my player has physics as well. As you can see, the pink boxes move. So we're going to find out what happened and why. So this bug came actually a couple days ago. It was discovered on our new 1.1 branch, which is not going to get released for a little while. After I did some bit of code to change how the vehicles physicalize, that's when this bug popped up. And what happened here and why the vehicle had to get physicalized, or how we had to change the vehicle physicalization, was because of the way the current CryEngine, or the previous CryEngine way of handling this. The entity itself would call physicalize, and that would create the physics object. And then in the vehicle code, because we need to change mass and density and do some other things, it would re-physicalize that slot. So our vehicles would essentially physicalize twice, because when it gets to this part, it removes the physics and then creates the physics again. So the vehicle would create the physics, and then we would come back here and create the physics one more time. So that was changed. So this bit of code just does the pre-setup and creates everything you would need before you create the physics. And then it would come right here to the parts, and then this little intermediate create each of the little physics meshes. Now, I should have kept in the game, but we could go back in the game and see what was happening on the Mustang. Alright, so we are back in the game, and I am going to set a breakpoint on this guy. So we're gonna reload scripts, and this will recreate the physics. And what was interesting when we were trying to figure out what was going on, at this point we didn't look at the code right away. We looked at the actual mesh in Max and seeing if there was something funky that we saw in the script or in the Max scene. And the other Mark was looking at it and found out that everything looks fine and was only affecting the Mustang. And what was interesting, if they were pulling in that model, not as a vehicle, but just as the model itself into the scene, it had physics. So once we established it was a code issue, I went immediately here to this little physics block, put down a breakpoint, and I noticed if I capture, where'd it go? These shared params, and we go to is physicalized, it is set to false. So what happens is the CGA, or the vehicle I should say, will skip physicalizing, so none of this actually happens. And the funny part is, if we open up, we see something troubling. In the actual script, it says to disable physics on this part. So this part, which is the very root and has the CGA, will never physicalize. So that means when it gets here, it skips. And then when we continue on, it has no physics. So, fun little fix. The great little fix was literally change this 1 to a 0. Reload the scripts. And bam, physics. So one little change. And the best part was, this has been in there since the release. But it didn't develop until this code was refactored. So there you go. A fun little dangerous thing that, yeah, fix. Alright, so as you can see, the fix was just a one-line edit in the XML. The bug didn't show up until after we changed the physics code to only physicalize the vehicle once instead of twice. And it was just a simple fix that we didn't know that was an issue until after, that refactoring the physics code. And we're probably going to get bugs like this all the time. You fix one thing and then sometime later, another thing that was broken doesn't show up to be broken until that other thing was fixed. And that's just a fun game development.
Thanks, Mark. We should clarify, Sandy's Flight School will be back next week. We're going to be going 1 week on, 1 week off, switching off with Bugsmashers.
I'm doing weapons, I think.
Weapons, nice. Who's going to teach you about those?
Watch yourself. I don't know yet. I'm helping Forrest or Zane, but we'll see. Now, over to Will for this week's MVP.
Hey everybody, I'm Assistant Community Manager Will here to bring you this week's MVP. This week's MVP goes to Fiendish Feather for his thread and video called Pieces of 8. The video tells a story of a couple of pirates who are trying to take down a constellation. Take a look.
Hit the deck, Spacer. There's no heroes on this ship. You know the drill. Sweep the deck. I forgot to bring a gun.
So thank you very much, Fiendish Feather. You're this week's MVP.
Thanks, Will.
Now let's go over to James, who interviewed Ken Fairclough, our environmental concept artist.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with concept artist Ken Fairclough. Ken, how you doing?
Good. Nice to meet you.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
So why don't you start by just telling everybody what particularly you're working on?
So I primarily do environment concept art and also props, as well as stuff for the tier system.
A tier system?
So the tier system is the modular system that we'll be using for the PU for building tons and tons of environments off of predetermined sets and stuff like that.
How does that differ from like your other stuff you work on? That seems like it's a little more specialized.
Well, as far as like concepting stuff out for that, there's a lot of things you have to keep in mind as far as like modularity and tiling. The big thing that I have come across so far is with, for example, like walls. If you design just one section of a wall, it might look cool, on its own, but once you start to tile it, then it starts to look repeated. So you have to do it in a way that that looks interesting on its own, but will also look interesting tiled so that it doesn't stand out like a sore thumb, that it's just the same asset used over and over again.
It's not the Flintstones thing, right?
Yeah,
Everything's
exactly.
the same background over and over again. When you're given the object of creating an object, is there a certain style guide you have to go by, or is that were you able to make that up on the fly? Or?
There's definitely strict style guides, involving the different architectural styles. Right now we have 3. We're going to be kind of expanding on those and kind of going a little bit more in depth with those. But yeah, absolutely. For each individual environment or like civilization, there is a specific style guide and aesthetic that is associated with all of that artwork that we have to, keep referencing to maintain
consistency.
Yeah, consistency. Exactly. Yeah.
Teamwork, man.
Yeah. Thanks.
What type of environments can we be looking forward to coming from you?
So I have worked as far as regarding the tier system. I worked on some previs stuff for Nix. Which I don't know if we have shown anything off of yet, but maybe sometime
a little
soon.
bit.
Okay, yeah.
Let's say soon-ish.
Yeah. But that's kind of like previs stuff, so we might see a little bit in there. It'd be kind of more maybe a flavor of it. And some other stuff that we haven't really talked about at all yet. So
the fans love that when you mention stuff you can't talk about.
Yeah, some really, really cool stuff.
So when you're given something to concept out, what do you like to bring to it that you think is a little different than anybody else?
I guess I can't speak for anyone else, but definitely the thing that I always try to approach any design regarding environments is making it feel as though it's like a small part of a larger world and something that's lived in and feels like it has like a history and like a story behind it. You know, so even when designing like walls or like crates and stuff like that, you know, adding unique scratches to them, or you know, different kinds of decals, or something to kind of add character to them and look like it's maybe been beat up a little bit, or you know, make it look like it's been handled, it's been you know, treat it as if it's like a character in its own, you know. So
and it's been through something.
Exactly.
You know, it feels like it's an actual part of a universe, not just a perfect, you know, wooden crate frame.
Exactly. It's not sitting in a display window on sale somewhere, you know. So
it's, you know, it's in a dingy factory in Mix somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. I always try to approach environments or the details that make up larger environments as if they are characters. So in my head, I'll kind of make up like a backstory.
For a crate?
I mean, maybe not that in depth, but yeah, I mean, I definitely try to think, you know, okay, where is this crate? Who's been using it? What is it used for? How old is the crate? You know, stuff like that, you know, and those little details, I think, really add a lot of life to a crate or any other kind of design.
Yeah, you can tell because you start to care about it. I mean, no matter what it is, you start to care, and you guys, because it's the story behind it is what you're interested in.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of overlap with like other concept artists in other studios or anything?
This
is just me thinking that's a good question.
Not so much. I mean, I've so for example, those tier stuff that I did for Nix, that was sent off to Behavior, and they're going to be kind of riffing off of that. So that's why I said like those designs weren't necessarily final concepts, but kind of like previs stuff for them to kind of pick pieces out of. And
is it different than how you've ever worked being part of such a multi-studio process of like?
Well, this is actually my first professional game gig, so I don't have too much of a point of interest.
That might be cool if you brought up though, because you're like the young kid who's getting the job. How old are you?
26.
Me too, dog.
Yeah.
Hands in. He's old. So is there anything specific you want to like create? Is it whether it's a ship or some sort of environment? Is there anything you're really looking forward to?
Well, I'm definitely I am in love with doing environments. So I look forward to kind of working on some of the future environments and kind of prevising that out, and kind of it's the early stages in the concept development that I enjoy the most. You know, kind of that blue sky kind of, you know, open-ended. Let's kind of really get down to like what this could possibly look like, because I think that's when all the ideas really happen, and that's when all the exploration happens. So yeah, there's so many awesome worlds that we have planned. So just thinking ahead and thinking what we might possibly be working on sometime soon is what really excites me.
So you're just waiting for someone to give you a world?
Yeah. I mean, what I'm working on right now, I mean, it's even though they're smaller parts of a larger world, it's equally exciting to me, because like I said before, it's those smaller parts, those smaller details that kind of make a larger world feel lived in and feel really believable. But yeah, designing those whole kind of larger, you know, set pieces and stuff like that is that's kind of the dream job. So I'm glad to be here, glad to be working on that kind of stuff.
Awesome, man. Well, again, thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, and back to you guys.
I tell you, when we were there, we didn't know his last name. We just called him Nice Guy Ken. So.
He's a nice guy. Thank you, James.
Now let's check in with the ladies of CS.
Hi, and welcome to customer service. My name's Chelsea.
And I'm Alexis.
I'd like to update you that we are still backlogged from all of the holidays, sales, and goings on. We're about 2 weeks behind. We're receiving around 1,000 tickets every week, so we've decided to open a new position in the UK for customer service. If you're interested, take a look at the job postings at cloudimperiumgames.com.
And I've got an update for subscribers. You should expect to see some new flair in your hangar this week. You'll be receiving the Gladius model.
We'd also like to thank some people who sent gifts in during our trying times here in customer service. We received jerky from Moses Family Jerky, Earn Brew from Trapjaw in Scotland, and Marley Coffee Mon from DAO Jones.
Thanks so much, guys. We really appreciate it.
So that's all for this week.
Chilexis out.
Thank you, ladies. There were a lot of giggles going on today shooting that episode.
Well, I hope Mark has not smashed your appetite for bugs, because here's our top 10.
Number 10. Number 9. Number 8. Number 7. Number 6. Number 5. Number 4. Number 3. Number 2. And number 1.
Those pesky bugs. All right, art sneak peek. What is it?
Here you go. Those are concept art, very early concept art for what we are thinking may replace the holotable. So spread those around the internet.
Very cool. PTU 1.0.3 will go live if all goes planned for tomorrow.
We've got a pretty good schedule, rhythm with the PTU. Now we get the PTU releases the week before the proper releases. So if you want to test out a new unstable version of Star Citizen, tomorrow should be your day.
Tomorrow, a design deep dive on the upcoming AC credit or REC system.
As you know, we're going to introduce a system to Arena Commander so you can earn credits to rent ships and equipment, and we're going to detail how we think that's going to work tomorrow and hopefully get your comments on it.
Don't forget to pick up your 350R or your M50. I've already got my 350R. I might just see you in-game on Monday at 4 p.m. PST. And happy Valentine's to everybody.
Thank you. Yes, please pick up a 350 or an M50 for your loved one. We're also unlocking the entire 300 range to test for the next week. So if you want to try it before you buy it, this is your chance.
Thanks everybody for watching and for subscribers to making this possible. We will see you next week on Around the Verse.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.
Thanks, Will.